What is oppositional defiant disorder? I'm going to share a story with you today that's going to give you hope, no matter how bad things might seem right now. I'm Bonnie Liotta. My husband and I help parents raising the most outrageously behaved children transform into the most outstanding, cooperative, kind, respectful kids around by sharing strategies and time-tested, proven principles that work no matter how defiant the child is right now. Now, as a mom of four, I realize that even the best behaved children can have difficult moments. But a child diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder will show a frequent and ongoing pattern of anger, irritability, and defiance toward their parents and other authority figures. ODD also includes being spiteful and seeking revenge, a behavior called vindictiveness. Now, I totally get it. I've been there, I've lived it, and I can't believe that I nearly bought into the lies that something was wrong with my children as they were being diagnosed with the most severe case of oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. And worse than all of that, my children seem to hate me. Now, I was reading all the parenting books, practicing authoritative parenting, which they call gentle, balanced, attached, peaceful, conscious parenting, all based around this authoritative parenting, where we need to talk things through, set boundaries, offer negative consequences for negative behavior, positive reinforcement, time out, takeaways. And when none of those things worked, I tried bribing, threatening, yelling, and at the end of the day, just ended up in fetal position crying in my bathroom when there was absolutely no solutions except continue to work with the psychologists, the teachers, the therapists, the pediatricians, who, by the way, had no idea what the cause of oppositional defiant disorder actually was. Now, the thing is if you ask a doctor or a psychiatrist, they're going to tell you, we don't really know. It could be genetics. I mean, my mom told me I was oppositionally defiant. And it could be environmental, lack of parenting, lack of supervision, harsh discipline, trauma. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what trauma? I'm just doing everything that the parenting experts are telling me to do. And here's what I ended up with: 4 kids in a home that was completely out of control, and I was losing my mind. But after I saw the positive impact of these success principles brought into my parenting life, watching all 4 of my children completely transformed before my eyes, I knew that God chose me to tell my story, to save families just like yours, and to save these children who are being blamed, labeled, diagnosed, and medicated from a lifetime of believing something's wrong with their brain. And I tell you what, if I hadn't witnessed the transformation before my eyes, I might not believe it either. So if you're a parent who knows something must be off the mark, who believes in the ability of your children, if you just knew what to do, you're in the right place watching the right video with the right people. When my youngest son was 6 years old, he was diagnosed with the most severe case of oppositional defiant disorder the school psychologist had ever seen. This was after the substitute teacher wouldn't sharpen his pencil, so he decided to throw his desk across the whole classroom, wiping out other desks and chairs, evacuating the classroom before jumping from desk to desk to desk out the door and locking himself in the bathroom. Not only that, he caused chaos at home with his siblings. He was very disruptive, cried for hours and hours every single night at bedtime. Life was a nightmare, and there were no positive solutions in sight until I saw it, the beautiful, proactive, empowering language of creating champions for life. In 2011, through a series of miraculous events I don't have time to get into right now, I attracted a gentleman into my life by the name of Thomas Liotta. When I first met him, I had no idea he knew anything about kids. I just knew that he was into personal development, he was an entrepreneur, he was very intelligent, and he was one of the only people that when I actually spoke with him transformed me from the inside out. So I invited him to Canada to help me put together a workshop for entrepreneurs called The Foundation for Life that would help them believe in themselves so that they could push through obstacles and create success. Meanwhile, I'd had a dream in my soul since 1994 to find a way to empower all children before the age of 12, and obviously I was failing miserably. Successful in all areas of my life, but failing as a mother and praying to God for an answer. So there I was, this new person in my life and in my home. And no, we weren't dating yet. But I was trying to show off what a great mom I was. I was loving, I was kind, I'd run from floor to floor, serving my kids, exhausted. Meanwhile, constantly putting out the fires. Along comes bedtime, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, this is gonna be so embarrassing when my son screams for 3 hours tonight. Hey, Zach, it's almost time for bed. I give him a little warning in my nicest, sweetest, kindest parenting voice ever, trying to avoid the meltdown because I know what's coming. And immediately Zach responds with, "Oh, but I don't want to go to bed." Well, enter Tom. "Hey, Zach, would you like to go to bed now with a story, or in 10 minutes from now, all by yourself?" Now, haven't we been told that to be a good mom, we need to read our kids a bedtime story every night? Well, my son chose, "I want to go to bed in 10 minutes from now, all by myself." And of course, I did what you're doing right now. "Oh yeah, okay, in 10 minutes from now, then we'll start the meltdown." But then Tom took another step that I'd never seen anybody ever do before. He asked Zach, "Do you know what 10 minutes looks like on the clock?" And so he took Zach over and spent about 2 or 3 minutes showing him how to tell time and showing him how he could know 10 minutes was over. And then he handed all the responsibility over to this little genius spirit, who, lo and behold, 10 minutes later comes running up the stairs, gives me a big hug and a kiss. "I love you, Mom. Good night." And I didn't see him again until morning. That was the first time in his entire life that he went to bed without a meltdown. Then I thought, well, maybe it was because the stranger asked him a question. I mean, I didn't know. Kind of went over my head the first time, but it was a light bulb moment. Now, over the next few months, Thomas would come every couple of weeks and work on this workshop with me, and I got to see him interact with my kids. Not one time did he ever say, "Hey, I've worked with thousands of kids, an award-winning after-school program in my martial arts school. Let me help you." Until one day, the kids were like, "Hey, Tom, can I play Angry Birds on your phone?" And Tom goes, "Hey, I would love you to. What's one thing you could do that would put a big smile on your mom's face?" And they started to clean up the back of a truck. I pulled into the driveway. I get out of the truck. I'm like, "Hey guys, time to go in." And they're like, no, we can't go in yet. I go, "Why not?" They're like, "Because I'm not done cleaning." What? So that triggered, how did you learn to speak to kids like that? And then he asked me the question, "Hey Bonnie, what is your role as a parent?" And I went, to make them happy? Oh no, that's not it. To buy them things? No, that's not it. To protect them from things? To love them? Like, I couldn't form into a sentence, what is my role as a parent? When he looked me in the eyes and he goes, "Bonnie, your role as a parent is to prepare your children for life by instilling in them life skills that they need to thrive with or without you." That made sense to me. So then he would fly back home to Seattle, and anytime I had something going on in my house, I would phone him for the answer. Within 6 months, I had 140 sticky notes all over my office with this beautiful, proactive, empowering language, a language that worked to help my kids rise up into their best selves. And I looked at him and I'm like, every parent in the world needs to know about this, because we're following what we're being taught in mainstream parenting, and a lot of us are ending up with kids who are being diagnosed with behavior, mood, and mental disorders. So I started to research what other parenting philosophy is proactive, focusing on goals and teaching life skills. It's been 13 years now since we've been working creating champions for life, and I still have not even found one. Parents who come to us and they learn these principles, well, every single one of them see a positive transformation also. And every time we see a child being taken off medication, every time we see a child who refused to go to school, now going to school, getting straight A's, every time we see a teenager who was in jail on medication for 9 years before finding us, and we see them totally transform into their best selves, every time that happens, it encourages us to share yet another story, to post yet another video. We're here as champions for children to let you know that there is a better way, that there is an option to parent proactively that will give these children, these special, loving, kind leader children who are just lost in their own head, not knowing how the world works, counting on us to show them, to be their guide, to be their trusted advisor, not to give them another negative consequence for another negative behavior, but to show them what they can make happen in their life with positive behaviors. And when we give our oppositional defiant children choices, and we give them clear expectations with a proactive plan, and when we practice through role play these life skills before heading into real life experiences, man, these children wake up with a new zest for life. And I realized that after working with hundreds and hundreds of children and families over the last 13 years, that your child wishes to please you. Your child wants you to see their greatness. They want to work with you in harmony, but they don't want to do it because you told them to. They want to show off their skills. So mom, dad, if you're ready to be empowered with the truth, if you've been praying to God for an answer to help you with your kids, you don't believe in medication, something seems off the mark to you, well, you've just stumbled upon it. It's called Creating Champions for Life. And if you want to get to know us more and learn the things that I did to transform my parenting and the things that our clients are doing to transform their parenting, you can just click over here for a longer video. I ditched traditional parenting, and here's what happened.